this action from the Bridgestone Superbikes is proudly brought to you by Bridgestone motorcycle tires, Aero helmets, Eric riding apparel, and Motorex lubricants. Hello and welcome to Zwartkops Raceway for the first round of the Bridgestone Superbikes Championship, part and parcel here of the Day of Champions, the first opening motorsport event of the 2019 SA Motorsport Championship. Huge crowds for the opening race of the season have turned up here. The embankments are lined up with spectators about to witness some of the best motorcycle racing action in the entire world. 2016 Moto3 World Champion, our very own Brad Binder in the house, selling his apparel and had his actual Moto3 World Championship bike on display in pit lane. One of the favourites then in the Bridgestone Superbikes is Sean Vermaak, a former champion. He's got a lot of pressure coming from the back from the likes of Hein McMahon, Harry Timmerman on that beautiful BMW HP4 race machine, that very exclusive machine. Damien Pierificati making a return as well. And watch out for the likes of the little 600 riders, Rainer Kruger, Reginald Seal also in the mix, Nicholas Gertenbach and Mark Wakeling will be on bike number 911. See the Bridgestone tyres are fitted, the brand new R11s are in the house, as well as the VO2 slicks, the very well-renowned slicks that have got massive amounts of grip around the Zwartkops Raceway. There's Harry Timmerman with that beautiful exclusive BMW HP4 machine. As you can see, the riders just getting themselves ready before they head out on track for their first race of the day. Here we go then for race one action. All the riders lining up on the grid. And as I said before, it's all about the likes of Sean Vermaak. Watch out for him on the Industry Motorcycles Kawasaki ZX10. Damien Pierificati on that BMW S1000RR machine. Reginald Seal also right up in the mix there on the Adrenaline Power Sport Yamaha R1. Joining me as usual is Dave Peterson. And Dave, great to see that these Bridgestone Superbikes are out and ready for round one action.
Now, regional level racing, so these guys just under the national level, and this class has been a great success in the last couple of years, well sponsored by Bridgestone and their associate sponsors. Ooh, listen to those bikes on the rev limiter. Harry Timmerman, launch control. Oh, what a big mistake! That is Hendrik de Bruin. He stalled his bike and looks like a jump start maybe from Damien Pierificati.
Definitely, Pierificati jumped the start. He's up into second place. He came from the back of the grid, so he's going to get that penalty. Harry Timmerman didn't use the launch control to full effect on that BMW of his. He's now dropped from the front row of the grid down into about 4th or 5th place on that beautiful BMW HP4 race machine. But it is Sean Vermaak from pole position out front. Hein McMahon, brilliant start there, up in the mix with Damien Pierificati as well. Here comes the rest of the field. That is Nicholas Gertenbach in a good battle there with Mark Wakeling. Hendrik de Bruin's got to try and make his way through the field ahead of the likes of Eugene Reindeke and Lance Marais.
Also a good start there from Byron Rothcroft, who apparently could only buy that colour purple to paint his bike, Rob. I mean, that really is weird, eh?
Yeah, he wants to stand out from the crowd, and he certainly does get the job done with that. Sean Vermaak getting the job done out front now. Comes into the final turn, and he's just hammering in those lap times. Good start there from Reginald Steele as well. Adrenaline Power Sport man on the R1 machine, right up in the mix, just coming onto the front straight there. So could find himself in that battle for the top three, but I think it's pretty much checkout time for Sean Vermaak out front. Hein McMahon still in that top three at the moment. Pierificati's going to get that jump start, so that's going to put him all the way down the field, but we've got 3 BMWs trying to chase down the Kawasaki out front.
Sean Vermaak suffered injury last year, broke his shoulder twice whilst riding Supermoto, so this is a great return for him on that Industry Motorcycles Kawasaki ZX10. Oh, look at that, Rob! Gets that bike going. There's a little bump there, and the Kawasaki really moving as he goes into that turn number 4.
Beautiful slow-mo shot of them. You can see how hard they clamp those brakes and how that front end just dives on these motorcycles. Once again, look at Sean. He really relies heavily on the front, loving the new Bridgestone R11 front tire. Says it's a lot more stable, it's got a lot more grip, and as you can see, Harry Timmerman, he'll be on the VO2 slick Bridgestone tires out there, getting all the grip he needs to tame that 260 plus World Superbike spec BMW S1000RR machine.
Don't forget, in the Bridgestone Superbike, Rob, the rules are that there are no rules. Only rule is that you have to use Bridgestone. Some of the guys are on slick tires, some of them on the R11 treaded tires, which they quite like. Lance Marais, Fastbike Racing, Yamaha R6, the first of the 600s. He's having a big dice as Eugene Reindeke at the moment on his big Kawasaki.
Oh, Harry Timmerman. Oh, that is top World Superbike spec Brembo bikes at its finest. Almost entering the bike. They're throwing it over the handlebars. And we got a rider, Hendrik de Bruin. Again, this is a terrible race for Hendrik de Bruin. From the front row of the grid, not a good day so far.
Hendrik was on pole position as they started this race, stalled it, now he's run off the track. Out front, Sean from Zwartkops having a fantastic ride. He's pulled 2 seconds now over Damien Perfeccardi. I've just seen the lap charts there. Looks like Damien is going to be penalised for that jump start.
Definitely. Wayne Spicer, Byron Rothwell, they're right up in the mix there for a top 5 place. So this is the best we've seen from those riders. Eugene Reinecker also right there. And that young man, Lance Murray, the leading of the 600 machines with Rainer Kruger a little bit down. This is a great shot coming into the final turn. A different angle there of Sean Vermaak. Really is the man to beat, especially around the Zwartkops track. He really does love this place.
Bridgestone Superbikes this year looks for a great series, racing all over the place, not only of course at Zwartkops, but we're doing the regional races as well. Big entries expected for the year with big support from their sponsors. So this is a series worth taking note of.
Definitely, and with Bridgestone coming with that new R11 cut slick tyre, it really has opened up the field. Look at this battle. We got Wayne Spicer, Byron Rothwell, Lance Maria, Eugene Reinecker, Hendrik de Bruin now coming in after his eventful race. Mark Wakeling, Nicholas Gertenbach, Rainer Kruger, they're all in the mix for that top 5. So we got 10 Oaks dicing for that top 5. No dicing out front for that man Sean Vermaak. He's just maintaining that gap now to Purificati, who will get the jump start. So the dice between McMahon and Timmerman is for 2nd and 3rd place.
I'm just looking, number 166 seems to have disappeared off the lap charts, trying to work out where he is. Reggie Seal on the YZF R1 Yamaha. Looks like he might have pulled off the track there, Rob. He's not on the lap charts at the moment.
Yeah, and he was riding right up in the top 4 there, so pity about that. Adrenaline Power Sport, Leroy Rich and them are going to have to get their fingers in there and sort that bike out. Harry Timmerman, how beautiful does that bike look? Remember, Harry, probably one of the only guys racing that HP4 race machine in the entire world. You can't race it in World Superbikes and you can't race it at national level because of the specs of that motorcycle. Carbon fiber frame on that bike.
Unbelievable. He's right in there with Hein McMahon. This is about the best we've seen Harry ride in the last...
Oh!
That's a big one. Rainer Kruger, that is on the Yamaha R6. Robbie's gloves even come off as he walks off the track, leaves the Yamaha stranded on the track, just outbraked himself and tagged some of the other bikes. Wayne Spicer, lucky to get away with that one because he was right in front of him, as was Rothwell and Lance Marais. Red flag has come out. We've got a rider on track. There it is. The medics come to attend to him. Looks like he's okay though. He's going to walk away from that one, luckily.
Let's hope he got his glove. He crashed so hard, his glove went flying off. He's got his helmet on. Here's a replay. See him on the inside, just outbrakes himself. Can't get the bike stopped. Rear wheels in the air, comes down, and he just tags the back of Nicholas Gertenbach. And Gertenbach is a big boy, and there's no coming back from that. There goes the tailpiece. There goes the glove. That is a massive crash. Did very well, and lucky to walk away from that is young Rainer Kruger.
So much energy as that bike flipped over. Right, straight to the restart. Is Sean Vermaak going to get the whole shot once again? Red lights are on. Red lights are off. Launch control takes place. This time, no jump starts from anybody. So we go down to first turn. It's going to be Hein McMahon who gets the whole shot on the BD Freight X Pro BMW S1000 RR in the lead.
Another terrible start there from Harry Timmerman. He just can't get that launch control sorted out. You can see him way down the field behind Gertenbach. Good to see that Nicholas has got back out. There's Eugene Reinecker right up in the mix as well. And a terrible start once again there for that man Mark Wakeling, Bach 911. But Hein McMahon, he's benefited big time, as has that man, of course, our former pole position man Hendrik de Bruin, right in the mix for that top 3. But with the aggregate time, I don't think he will score in that top 3. Here comes
on the brakes.
Mark at the inside of the top of the hill, not able to make it. What a return to racing this has been from Hein McMahon. Has a topsy-turvy last couple of years, but here he is in full force in the 2019 Bridgestone Superbikes.
Sean Vermaak is looking impatient. He looks like he wants to get by on the brakes. Will he do it down here at the final turn? He runs up by the inside. Oh, he can't do it just there. So our top 3 riders much closer this time around. The restart obviously pulled all the riders back together, as you say. Some of the guys who failed in the first part are making up for it in the second part.
And we know Hendrik de Bruin's got the pace to run at the front. He just made a couple of mistakes, maybe just too excited for the season to get going, but he's right in the mix there now. This will bode well for race number 2. It'll show him that he's got the pace, he's got the setup to run with the leading riders. A little bit further back, here comes Byron Rothwell on the inside of Gertenbach. Gertenbach must be hating that turn 2 because so far he's just got bikes coming on his inside, outside, everywhere. Speaking of inside, again, Sean Vermaak. He's definitely got the extra pace, got the extra grip out of those Bridgestone R11 tyres. Can he make it at the top of the hill here?
Rothwell coming under a lot of pressure there from Lance Marais. And what a ride from Wayne Spicer. He's also riding ZX10s today, so great ride from on the brakes at the top of the hill. he still holds on. Hein McMahon, I think his days are numbered though, because Sean van Mark is looking rather tasty with that Kawasaki, especially on the brakes.
And Henrik de Bruin trying to go around. Nicholas Gertenbach, I think he's just pulling out of this. Maybe some brake issues. No such brake issues for Sean van Mark out front as he in the final turn, up the inside. Oh, beautiful slow-mo. Oh, Hein McMahon with a massive moment coming on the front straight. Did ever so well to hold on to that, but that's dropped him down. Third on track now, but he'll still hold a top 3 in the overall ahead of Harry Timmerman.
That's just let him through. Henrik de Bruin saw the gap. Hein McMahon out of the saddle, completely out of shape with the bike. Got on the gas just a little bit too early. Maybe suspension on the rear, a little bit soft there, Rob. And that's why the bike tied itself in knots. Spicer got that bike, leaned right over. The wellness group Kawasaki skirts up into turn 3 out front. Now a gap suddenly. Sean van Mark has pulled, half a second at least.
And Hein McMahon is just taking some time to clean his... that is Mark Wakeling, bike 911. Needs emergency. Nicholas Gerkenbach. That is definitely brake problems on that BMW, but no such problems for Sean van Mark as he comes across the line now. He'll take the checkered flag and pick up the race 1 win here of the first round of the Bridgestone Superbike. So there's confirmation. It is van Mark ahead of McMahon. Harry Timmerman does get third ahead of Wayne Sparta, and Byron Rothquell holding down that fifth. Lance Murray, the first of the 600s in 6th place ahead of Eugene Reinecker and Henrik de Bruin.
Unfortunately, I stalled the bike from pole position for the first race, and just tried my best to catch back up. Fortunately for me, unfortunately for some other guy, he had a crash at turn 2, so the race was red flagged. Was fortunate enough to start from the back of the grid and ended in 2nd place, so overall I suppose not a bad day.
Welcome back to Zwartkops Raceway, and we're about to take a look at the first bit of racing action for the 2019 season of the Bridgestone Challenge class. And as always, you're part of the Day of Champions at Zwartkops Raceway, and the crowds have turned out not only on the big circuit but on the short circuit as well. Rick the Racer with a funny hairstyle there. He's just giving his daughter some tricks for the short circuit track. And as you can see, packed pits here with all our racers. Mo Mahope, watch out for the lady rider. She'll be taking part in the full championship in the Bridgestone Challenge. There she is, bike number 83. Great to see her part and parcel of what is going to be an incredible championship. 16 bikes about to line up on the grid to do battle for the Bridgestone Challenge. Lined up on the grid there, the red lights are on, they go off very quickly, and a good start from the front row there, looks like for the likes of Ian Thomas, Christopher Cretson and Greg Wennington going into turn 1.
Now on the outside, Greg Waddington, I think he would have aimed for the inside if he really had his way. Momo Hoppe, middle of the field there, she's having a better ride this year. She's improved so much in her racing over this last year.
Coming around the outside, Nigel Brandt right in the mix there as well. Dal Coetzee, Francois de Villiers, Nassif Wadwala. We know that he's got exceptional pace around the Zwartkops track here, so watch out for him. Already a move on the inside there. Look like Ian Thomas may be making that move on big Christopher Cretson. Tegan O'Donnell also right up in the mix ahead of Michael Dixon.
It is Tegan O'Donnell who leads up onto the shelf on the GSXR 1000, the Kickstart Bikes Red Suzuki. Great start and first lap from Tegan.
Yeah, that really is an incredible start. We haven't seen Tegan take part in this championship, and there he is, first time out, right up in the mix. You see Tyron Piper a little bit further down than that brand new R6 machine sponsored by Adrenaline Powersport. But here comes Greg Wennington on the Yamaha R1 machine. He's now got up into second place and charging down on the slightly older spec Suzuki GSXR that's ahead of him.
Horsepower counts as they go down the straight. Waddington's got a lot of power with that Yamaha R1. Same for Michael Dixon and Tyron Piper. So lots of horsepower compared to the Suzuki there of Tegan O'Donnell.
Yeah, O'Donnell just trying to hold that inside line. Remember, I don't think he's got traction control on that bike compared to the newer models that he's racing with. So that'll come into play a little bit later. Further down the field there is our naked man. That's Joe Herbig on that MV Augusta. Great to see him out there and improving time. Nassif Wadwala in a good dice there with Francois de Villiers, Dal Coetzee, Nigel Brandt, Momo Hoppe just outside that top 10 for now.
Just talking about Joe Herbig on the naked MV Augusta Brutale, quite surprising. He's normally a lot further up than this, having some problems on the day.
can see Greg Wannington not looking too comfortable out front. He's looking over his shoulder, not hitting the apex. So while he's out front, just getting closed in by the likes of O'Donnell, Christopher Cretson and Ian Thomas right in the mix. So not having it all his own way. You can see it's very old school style. Hang off the bike, Greg Wannington. And just behind them, Michael Dixon is starting to come through there. There he is. And Nassif Vodvala and Francois de Villiers not too far behind that leading group.
Looks to me like Tegan O'Donnell has got this one lined up. He's going to make a move for the lead. Yes, he does, as they're going to turn number 1. Great move from Tegan O'Donnell. The problem is, Rob, when they come to the straight bits of the track, Greg Waddington squirts past him.
Yeah, it's the same problem there. That bike 202 Tyrant Piper, the beautifully prepared Yamaha R6. He makes it up in the corners, but he just loses it all down the straight. And O'Donnell, where has he come from? Tegan has got an incredible pace. Out of the saddle from Waddington.
Waddington just got out of the seat. And mistake! Tegan O'Donnell's made a mistake. This is the last lap of the race. Can you believe that the Suzuki has gone onto the dirt? Luckily, he saved the plot, but now he's lost out on the lead. Greg Waddington, and I think it'll be Ian Thomas, who was just behind him, will probably inherit first and second. So there it is. The checkered flag is out. Waddington gets the win on that Yamaha R1. Ushaka Trading Adrenaline Power Sport machine. And there he comes out. See Tegan O'Donnell just behind Chris Cretson. So he's picked it up and he'll finish further down in the field. Unbelievable last lap mistakes. There it is. Waddington, Thomas, Chris Cretson, Tegan O'Donnell, Michael Dixon, Tyrant Piper, Nassif Vodvala, we hardly even mentioned him in 7th, and Francois de Villiers in 8th. Let's catch up with race winner then, Greg Waddington.
Yeah, it was good, It got hot. But we pushed quite hard. We got lucky at the end. The guy in front of me came off, and then I got through the finish first. So thanks to Leroy and Adrenaline for bike setup. And thanks to my family for coming to support today.
Welcome back to Zwartkops Raceway, a jam-packed Zwartkops Raceway for Race 2 action of the Bridgestone Superbikes Championship. Sean Vermaak dominated that action-packed Race 1. Can he do the same now in Race 2?
I don't know, Rob, can he?
I hope he can, and I hope Henrik de Bruin can get off the line this time. It does look like he has. Hein McMahon he hasn't stalled, so it's a much better start to the race. Harry Timmerman also with a better start. He knows that if he can get, as I say, that he's just dropping down the field. He's got to get a start because he's got the pace to run inside that top 3.
Harry looks a little bit nervous going through that turn 1. Maybe that cement dust down the track put him off just a little bit. Sean Vermaak, well, will he do this one? I think he's going to have a lot more opposition this time around. Hendrik de Bruin and Hein McMahon look like they're going to be fired up for this one.
You can't blame Harry Timmerman just for taking it easy on that 1.3 million rand exclusive, only 750 made worldwide BMW HP4 race machine. So incredible job there, and beautiful to have that bike racing with us here, part and parcel of the Bridgestone Superbikes Championship. And look, Hendrik de Bruin is right on the tail of Sean Vermaak. So Sean Vermaak is not going to have it as easy as he did in race number 1, because Hendrik de Bruin has proved once he gets it off the line, he can run at the front.
And look, good to see bike number 166 back out on the track. Reggie Seal with the Adrenaline Power Sport Yamaha R1. I'm not sure what the problem was in the first race. Apparently he's getting a lot of tank slap, as he was saying. So good to see him back out there, and hopefully they've repaired the bike.
Sean Vermaak, no tank slappers for him at the moment. He goes into turn 1. He can hear that big bang R1 machine of Hendrik de Bruin as they come into turn 2. A little bit defensive there from Vermaak. You can see Hendrik de Bruin going that wide outside line. The Yamaha will be a little bit easier on those Bridgestone tires than the big Kawasaki machine out front, and this BMW machine of Nicholas Gertenbach a little bit further down there, and you can't blame him because he has had a really action-packed day. Hendrik de Bruin again over those bumps on the inside, just getting that R1 all kinds of out of shape.
And Sean Vermaak knows he's got him covered. Mind you, they're doing quicker lap times straight away than the first race. Eugene Rannicker also in there. He's behind Gertenbach, and Byron Rothkohl, haven't seen too much of him this race. Looks like he's once again involved with Wayne Spicer on the Kawasaki.
Hendrik de Bruin looks like he's trying to find a way ahead here now of Sean Vermaak. Vermaak, not the same kind of pace he had in heat number 1. Remember, the track conditions are slightly different, and coming down into the final turn, Hendrik de Bruin comfortable in second place at the moment. They've pulled away from Hein McMahon. Harry Timmerman has got himself up into that 4th place after making his way through the likes of Wayne Spicer and Byron Rothkohl. But it is the 2 men out front that are literally glued together going into the halfway stage of this race. It's time now for Hendrik de Bruin. If he wants to make that move, he's got to start getting ahead of Vermaak and upsetting that rhythm that the Kawasaki man has.
This is a needle match. 1 and 2, as you see on the screen, for Mark versus De Bruyn. Further down the field, we see all these dices going on. Gertenbach, then there's Byron Rothkohl once again with Wayne Spicer. Eugene Reinecker, Gina's Autospares Kawasaki, he's out there lying in 8th position at the moment. Big drive up there, then he runs a bit wide. For Mark, a little bit wide as he went up the hill. Good shot there of Wayne Spicer on that Kawasaki. On the brakes.
Yeah, does he get it done? The Yamaha man. He's not going. He's going to run wide. He is going to run wide. That's going to line for Mark. No, he doesn't. Excellent riding there from Henrik De Bruyn to hold that bike, bring it back online, and let's see what he can do now that he's hit the front. I think he's got a little bit extra pace, but Sean for Mark, knowing Sean, he'll fight back straight away because he's that kind of old school bully kind of rider, like a Cole Fogarty. Does not like to be anywhere else other than first place.
Stuck in no man's land is Hein McMahon on the BDJ Freight X-Pro BMW, bike number 4. So he's really having a lonely ride. Rothkohl, he's made up a lot of ground in the last couple of laps. He's on the tail of Wayne Spicer now. Look at this.
Yeah, Harry Timmerman just ahead of them, and again, it's just such a pity that Timmerman can't get the start because he's running top 3 pace on the lap timers. There he is on that beautiful machine. You've got to get down to a Bridgestone Superbikes race and see that machine up close and personal. Oh, there's Rothkohl. He's made the move on the inside there of Spicer. So another BMW versus Kawasaki battle going on, but it is a Yamaha Big Bang R1 machine out front. Your pole position man from this morning, Henrik De Bruyn, has come into this 2019 season and he wants that number 1 plate.
We didn't expect this. De Bruyn had some good rides last year, but he's really on it today here at Zwartkops at the Day of Champions. Down to that final turn we go. Sean for Mark goes up 1 gear as they come into the main straight now. You see how many laps to go in this race as Henny the flag will be standing by. Hein McMahon, he's got that 3rd place sewn up on bike number 4. No doubt about that one. But out front, it is this mess. And what's he doing? Henrik De Bruyn, he's signalling he's got some sort of problem. I think he's let Sean for Mark go through.
Oh, that is such a pity. De Bruyn was starting to get into a comfortable rhythm and he was pulling away, but he has got some issue on that R1 machine and he's allowed Sean for Mark to make that move through. But the final stages of this race now, let's hope that he can creep that bike and crawl that bike to across the line to hopefully hold down that 2nd place. You can see he's looking behind him to see where Hein McMahon is, but he's got a massive lead on this final lap. So I think Sean for Mark is now going to bring that bike home for a double victory on the day. The question is now, can Henrik De Bruyn on that R1 machine hold down that 2nd? He has a good battle though. Still going on between Spicer and Rothkohl. That's for 5th and 6th place.
Byron Rothkohl on that BMW versus that Kawasaki right behind him. Let's take a look at the 2nd place man now, Henrik De Bruyn. Looks like he might have a bit of a problem, Robbie. He slowed down quite a lot on the last lap or 2.
He definitely has terminal problems on there, but it does look like he's got enough to hold down that 2nd place. For Mark comes into the final turn, bangs it down into 2nd gear for that left-hander, and he's got a couple of laps still remaining. So Henrik De Bruyn got some work to do still to hold down that 2nd place. Hein McMahon, he's got about a 5, 6, or probably even more, 7-second lead there over Hein McMahon. Harry Timmerman, it's very spread out now with our top 4 riders, and again, just such a pity that Big Harry just can't get that bike launched. Let's hope throughout the rest of the season he can get that bike and that launch control sorted out and he can run at the sharp end with that man Sean for Mark, who looks like he's going to be running away with this championship if the guys don't step it up.
Hein McMahon, he's right there in 3rd place, as I say, stuck in no man's land. Harry Timmerman, that's your top 4. Behind them though, the dice is between Spicer and Rothkohl. We'll see what goes on there. There is our leader. He goes up through the fast turn number 4. The bike moving a lot. He hasn't slowed down too much, Rob. He's still using a lot of the track.
And testament to how good these new Bridgestone R11 tyres are, that for Mark is able to put in almost his fastest laps of the race consistently, even in the very late stages of this race. So that new Bridgestone R11, I think a lot of racers throughout the country are going to be fitting those tyres to their bikes because they have certainly proved themselves in this championship and in the Bridgestone Challenge, as is the VO2 slicks on that big HP4 race machine of Harry Timmerman. Eugene Reinecker, he comes through there a little bit further back in 8th place with Nicholas Gertenbach holding down that 7th. Reginald Seal will round out your 9th place. There we go, 1 lap remaining then for our leading rider. Yes, Spicer at the top of the hill, he fights back. So Rothkohl thought he had that 5th place down sewed, but here comes Wayne Spicer, the Kawasaki man, who's done plenty of racing on those Bridgestone tyres, now coming through the field in 5th place. That's a brilliant ride from Wayne.
For Mark on the last lap of this race, 2nd place will be number 95, Henrik De Bruyn. 4 in 3rd place, Hein McMahon. Here he goes through turn number 4. Sean for Mark can basically coast home now if he wants to pick up the double win for the day. This is a great result from him. Look at the speed that he carries onto the shelf. Banks it over on 2nd gear, little squirt. He'll go right and then he'll flick it left down the hill for the last time in this race in the Bridgestone Superbikes. Here at Zwartkops, the next round, by the way, couple of weeks' time on the 9th of March at Zwartkops. They will be back for that one as well. Waiting for the checkered flag. He goes down into second gear. He'll squirt it over the finish line. Great ride from Sean from Mark Industry Motorcycles Kawasaki ZX10 ahead of Henrik de Bruyn, Hein McMahon, Harry Timmerman, Wayne Spicer, Byron Roscoe, Nicholas Gertenbach and Eugene Reinecke. Let's catch up then with our race winner Sean from Mark.
We had a red flag with an incident. Second restart, I fluffed the start up a little bit, so I had some catching up to do. Made the passes that I needed to, and luckily could bag my first win for 2019. So let's hope we can carry on this momentum. I would just like to thank Industry Motorcycles, Bridgestone, Zwartkops and TRP.
All this action from the Bridgestone Superbikes is proudly brought to you by Bridgestone Motorcycle Tires, Aero Helmets, Beric Riding Apparel, and Motorex Lubricants. The Bridgestone Superbike Championship features some of the fastest motorcycles in the land, with the fastest riders doing battle around some of the fastest racetracks in South African motorsport. The number one rule in this category is that there are no rules. Only on Ignition, DSTV, Channel 189.